Okay. So the other reason why specifically for this mindset track, I wanted to talk about this is because these are the things you take with you when everything else changes. So this is me. It's a slightly different chart visually, but it's just showing you. So this is me. I have 2 talents in analysis, 2 in procedure, and 2 in relational. Okay. For 25 years, I was an editor, a developmental editor. And I helped people write books. I helped women write books on topics on personal growth, transformation, leadership, etc. And I called it half architect because I always saw a book as a structure, and half midwife. What was I describing? My analytic abilities and my relational abilities, right? So I was nurturing and supported, and I always made all of my authors understood we all had deep personal relationships, and I'm still friends with them all, and they felt loved and supported by me in doing their process. And I thought about what are the problems here that need to be fixed in this book, right? And I could focus for the amount of time that it takes. Oh, and I also have reliability. I forgot to write that on. Okay, so the point of this is when the publishing industry crumbled, when it was no longer viable, at least as I was concerned, to do, I decided to do what I'm doing now. But guess what? I use these exact same things. I use the exact same talents. These are the things, the whole stones that I bring with me. First, I was a newspaper writer. That newspaper went out of business. Then I was a magazine writer. That magazine went out of business. Then I was a book publisher, and that book publisher went out of business. And now I'm here. So, but every single time, these are the raw materials I bring with me. Okay? So that's thing 1 to think about for you too. This is why it matters specifically in what we're doing here in this 6 months. So the other thing to think about, and it's a little bit in the report, but I want to emphasize it here, is that every great light casts a shadow. So there's a shadow side to every one of these talents, right? And it's important to understand the shadow side of them. And what the shadow means is that we tend to not necessarily use our talents well, especially under stress. So the shadow side are the ways you may be showing up to other people that you are not aware of. So here's the list of things. So again, we're going to pick on me. So fixing it. If I don't be careful, I can come across as critical when I'm talking to someone because I see all the problems in what they're doing and say, right? And I had this belief, and it took me until it's like 50 years to realize not everyone wants to be fixed, especially your partner, right? But for those of us who have this thing, we want to fix everything, including all the people around us, whether they want it or not. So that's an example of a shadow and how it shows up. And I generally know how I've learned what I call skillful means around that shadow over time, how to say things in a way that is not critical, but helpful, except when I get upset with my husband. Then it comes out in a non-skillful way, right? So part of what we're going to do today is not only look at what are the upside of what your talents are, but what are the potential shadow sides that you need to make sure you're aware of so you can mitigate, okay?